Hey, you guys, it's Lynn. I've got Leah, Stancy, and Tracy here. We have been doing a lot of work with the stuff that we're going to share today as a team and different teams, and we're all doing this together in mission. And so we have a lot to share today. We have been compiling and working through this stuff over the last 6 years. So this is going to be a lot. We haven't really shared a lot of this with the Twin Flame community in YouTube. We have been doing this in our private groups, in the masterclass, and in the hardcore group, but we have not been sharing this on YouTube, and now it is time. So we've been getting the push. We spent a good couple hours in mission work yesterday, getting more information, and we are supposed to be sharing this today. So we're going to start this out. I am going to share a God Says with you guys first, and this was basically, this is little snippets of some of the stuff that we were working through. So I'm going to go and read through it, but keep it in the back of your mind because it is going to apply as we work through all this stuff. But we're going to go through the entire process of what twins are doing here and what's happening. Chrissy's getting ice cream. That's nice. Okay, first of all, I do want to say this is not fear-mongering. Everything that we are talking about here, we have... how do I describe this without freaking people out? Basically, twins are here for a reason. You guys all know that. Light workers are here for a reason too. We're all in the same game. We all have the same goal in mind. So the problem is in the community, people don't truly understand what that means. And so we've got this entire misled community of people saying they're in union all over the place when they're not. And we've got people that are saying, I'm here to just bring the light and love and to the planet. Nobody really understands where that's coming from. Well, this is all scientific. So we're going to talk about the scientific evidence that's backing this up and what's at play. We've been talking about divine timing and how twins are not in union right now and what that all means. But right today, we're going to break it all down. So you could be here a while, but please be patient. If you are... a twin, a light worker, whether you think you're a twin and you're in union, or you are a twin that's really hardcore and you know what you're doing, everybody needs this message. So bear with us. Stancy, is there something that you wanted to share about this not being a fear thing? This is actually just a process and God's standpoint on that?
Yeah, sure. Well, so he basically wants everyone to know this right now because of the days coming ahead. So, I mean, if you listeners out there, if you're watching this today, it's meant for your ears to hear, right? So what you do with the information that you're going to hear today is, of course, up to you. However, Holy Father God is wanting everyone to hear this right now because of the time and the essence here, not only for twins, but for all humanity. For all you listeners out there, he's asking us to prepare ahead for what's coming, because it is coming, and everyone's going to be seeing what's coming. It's going to be so unfathomable for most people, if not all of us. But of course, we have free will always. But he is making a point. This is what's happening, and he wants us to get this information out there now. So it's like Lynn said, it's not fear mongering. It has come from, directly from Holy Father God. And we've validated that here as a mission group, as Lynn was mentioning before. And so this is the information you hear today is all being validated. And so listen up. He just wants everyone to listen up and wake up. There you go.
Exactly. Thank you for that. I do have a little ticker at the bottom. I'm going to leave that there as people join. I don't want people getting freaked out. We're just going to give information, but we're going to explain all this. And basically, God says, this is not to be feared, as this is the war where my chosen and I will retain what it is. My elites and army will be at the strength to take out what needs to be done on all these matters. So there are people that are actually working with God, that are actually at the front lines, that are taking care of all of this. Everybody in this has a different role. And another thing that I do want to emphasize is this does not mean that all twins are supposed to fight dark. That's not it at all. We're going to talk about that at the very end, what your job is, but everybody has a different role and a different perspective in this. We are all one part of a giant Swiss watch is a lot of the ways that God describes this, or all one part of a body. We all have to work together to be able to get the job done. So twins are different things. They're lovers, they're fighters, they're warriors, they're teachers, they're mentors, they're healers. So please don't take this as you have to fight this. People are already in place that are doing that. So you can get that off your hand right now. Okay, so I do want to share that God says, keep in mind, this is basically an excerpt. And I think all of us that are up here today, for some reason, our adrenaline is just pumping like crazy. I think our twins are probably tripping. We're talking about this on YouTube, but yeah, we're not supposed to be talking about a lot of this stuff. So some of it's going to be very general, and bear with me. There's reasons for that. Some of the stuff we can't be specific about because YouTube will not support it. So there's that. Okay, I'm going to share this God says with you. Give me just a moment. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So he's talking about the abyss, and a lot of this came through when we were working through some of this stuff yesterday. And this is all going to make sense when we get through it. The frequency of all, meaning all twins, and then even light workers, but particularly the twin frequency, trickled out will lift vibrations as this is its purpose. So we're going to talk about how that works through the grid. You guys aren't going to like you're not going to like a lot of this, but we'll explain it. All 4 horsemen are already here and moving. The AC is in human form, born already. The army is what will be raised in the 3D you speak of. Those that will see. Those that do not, be aware. And this is basically when the abyss opens, there's going to be a lot of demonic and dark souls that are going to be coming through that will have physical presence. He's saying soul contracts will be a part of this. There is no loss on these matters, only in what is agreed to. Those taken will be saved at my will. We're going to talk about how that breaks down too. And then the part that I just read you guys about the elites in the army. Everybody's going to be doing their part. Don't freak out. All others will need to succumb to me this day as time is near. If not, they will join those that will perish. What he's talking about here is we're getting to the place where by the time that the abyss opens, you better have chosen God, or he's going to consider that you've chosen the other path. Or actually, you either chosen God, or you're going to end up being here to make that choice, and it's going to happen on the ground. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Souls will be taken by God. The ones that are not prepared in my chosen, they will be replaced. And he's talking about twins that are not ready when it is time. When it is your time for your spark to get lit up, if you are not in a place for that to light up, meaning the Christmas bulb that doesn't light, he's going to put a bulb in there that will. So walk-ins are going to be moving in and literally dropping in and going. And then he's saying the grid will go down. Okay, I want to hit the comments really quick. Hey, Urban Alchemist. Okay, so let's break this down. First, I do want to say that this is what we're all here for. We all have a unique frequency as twins to be able to conquer all of this shit, all of it. We are way more powerful than dark. The army wins at the end. Light wins. This is not about the Galactic Federation. This is not about, the white hats are coming in and taking none of that. This is all basically, this is an energetic war is what this is. So we're going to talk about how this is playing out. What I do want to say first is we were working through a lot of the stuff that we actually have to do on a mission level with our team. It was to the point where some of the stuff that we have to come against individually and as a team, I literally was like, okay, I need a physicist. I'm not going to be able to understand this stuff because basically how all this boils down is this is all happening at a quantum and a particle physics level. Sorry, I'm having a hell of a time talking through all this adrenaline. Hold on. Okay. This is basically an energetic war is what it is. So we have twins and light workers that have this light, this high frequency. We've got twins that have their own frequency. Then we've got dark, which basically are low vibing beings, and their entire objective is to bring the planet down to a frequency that is of decay and destruction. So because they're not high vibing beings, they don't have the abilities that we have. So they're using technology, and they're using a lot of different tactics, fear, divide, disease, all of these type of things, jab, we'll call that, in order to bring the vibe down of the planet like exponentially. So how this is working is we've got a light versus dark. So we've got the twins and the light workers trying to keep the vibration up. We've got the dark trying to bring it down. How this works out on a spiritual level, in terms of roles of engagement, is that it's like playing chess. Only one side gets to go at a time. Dark has been having their move since basically quarantine. We have been waiting for this move. Sorry, you guys, I'm a little tongue-tied today. Normally I just rattle this shit off. I've been talking about it all week, but my adrenaline is just going crazy today. Okay. Anyway, so basically this is all about frequency. It's a frequency of the twin energy itself, how it relates to particle physics, how this is all playing out on a worldly and global level. It's basically high frequency versus low. Everything that we do and everything we've ever talked about here in the last 6 years has been based on, we go to Holy Father God and we get the information that we need. And then we get it visually, we work through it, we remote through things, we've gone to different locations, we've experienced things, we've experienced energy, we have manifested things, we have neutralized things. We've done a lot of this stuff. A lot of twins have been doing this. It is all manifested in the 3D, and we have all had evidence of it. We have been compiling evidence of the things that we have done that has shown up in the 3D. We have gotten real-time feedback of these abilities and this taking place. And we also have found it being validated in a lot of scientific documents and a lot of other validated material. So that being said, when we were moving through this part about the abyss, I basically told God, I said, I need a physicist. I don't have time to learn all this shit. I know what my job is in it. I've seen what you guys want us to do with this and what twins are supposed to be doing with this, but I need evidence to back this whole abyss thing up. And I said, I need a physicist. Lo and behold, the next day, I am able to get in touch with one of the most renowned physicists on the planet that actually understands how the particle physics and how the particle physics basically and the spiritual end of things and the movement through global events is all aligning. And Leah and I were able to meet with him for a little bit last week and ask him all of the questions that we needed, and he's validated everything that team gave us. So all of this is accurate on a scientific level. So I really hate to talk about the abyss opening, but that's what's going to be going down. I'm not going to be talking about timing. So there is a timing. God does not want us to share that. Stancy, do you mind sharing what he said about talking about timing?
Yeah, he basically said it was privileged knowledge to specific ones, I guess ourselves, but he doesn't want anyone to wrap their heads around it if they know dates and things. So it's limited information to those that need to know. That's what he was going on about.
Yeah, I think he called it a speed bump, right?
And that, yes.
Yeah, he was talking about.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's basically just going to slow everybody down. If you wrap your head around it and freak out, you're not going to be focused on what you need to be doing. And everybody that has a role in this, you're going to slip naturally into it, as long as you're 100% committed and you're doing the right work. So let's talk about that. Okay, we all know that twins and light workers are supposed to light up the grid. Do you guys even know what the hell that means? I'm going to explain this. Okay. there's a thing called sacred fire. The actual twin flame is basically what we are understanding to be a specific particle. This particle is combustible. It's basically one of these things where when you combine them, the intensity of it is explosive to the point where it can basically devour anything around it. If you'll notice, when a lot of twins use their fire, if they understand how to take this flame in their heart chakra and engulf themselves in it and use it in the ways that we're supposed to, it feels like heat to other people. So like if you're doing a massage and you're rubbing with someone's back, that you will feel sometimes like the heat is coming out of your hands. Many twins who move into their awakening and all of a sudden get pushed into a different frequency will be sweating bullets for a long, long time. It's because of this. They call it the sacred fire, right? Scientists don't understand what the sacred fire is, but this is the flame. This is the God spark. This is, it's one of the highest level frequencies that exists in the universe. It is from the God spark. It is basically from the Big Bang. The spark split, and then it split, and it split down into the org chart, and that's basically the angelic army all the way down into then people have souls. So basically that's what it is. When we have our kundalini, what happens is our vibration, like a normal human vibration, let me talk about the vibration scale really quick, because that's basically explains how all this is going down. Typical humans vibe in the mid 60s. If you drop down maybe 10, 15, now you're getting the sniffles, you're at a vibration or a frequency of, sickness, illness, that type of thing. These are like where doubts are. Everything has a frequency, whether it's an emotion, whether it's an object, it's a feeling, it's mass. If you go down into basically 35, around 25, I'm way down there. That's where fear, death, cancer, doubt, shame, those type of frequencies are. So if you're thinking about it and you're like at a 62, you drop down in your 30s, you're going to be open to some of the deadly illnesses. It's only 30 hertz difference. When you awaken, your frequency raises all the way up into the mid 300s. So then you work through all of your abilities open up because you're at a higher frequency. So all your clairs open up. You are able to speak telepathically. You're able to receive. You're connecting with team. You're getting guidance. You're having astral sex. You're remote traveling if you're a twin. Then you're working on your healing, which is in the 400s. You move up into more unconditional love, way 800s. You keep climbing. The twin flame is one of the highest levels possible because it is purity. So where you've got the violet flame on the left, which is peace and healing, the twin fire is illuminating and purifying because it is one of the most purest energies available. If you understand that the twin fire is way at the top and dark is way at the bottom, then you'll understand how lethal this energy is. So if you take this twin flame and you push it through something that's dark, it's going to incinerate it instantly. So on a quantum physics level, this looks like, there's a particular activity that happens. I'm not going to get into it in here. We'll get into it in another group. If you guys want to go through the specifics, go join our main group down below. We talk about this stuff in here, but we're not going to do it on YouTube. So here's the point. If we all have a grid point, we're supposed to be lighting up our grid point. We also are supposed to be, when we actually have physical, soul and energetic merging with our twin in that actual point of union, what that does is you're taking those two particles. If each of you contains the particle, you combine those particles and it's combustion. It's like a star. So I've always talked about how twins are, the energy of twins, that flame is like a sparkler. So if you take a regular match or a fire from a flame or a fire from a candle, it's going to burn to a certain temperature. But if you take the energy of a sparkler, it burns at like 2200 degrees. If you have two sparklers and you combine them and light them, it becomes a bomb because it's combustible. That's why twins have been held apart this whole time, and I'm going to explain what this process is. So all the twins out there that are like, oh, but I'm married and I'm in union and I'm with my twin, and it's like, you're probably not a twin. I'm sorry. People are not going to want to hear this, but the whole community has been just distorted with crap information. Divine timing is based on the sequence that's about to happen. So if you are a twin and you are an actual twin and you are not with your twin, then this is especially for you. That means you got to devote into what you're doing. We'll talk about it at the end, but it's go time. So hold on just a second. Oh yeah, there's a memberships. Thanks, Lyra, for putting that up. Oh, I'm having a hell of a time with this today, you guys. Thanks for your patience with me. It's just so much. Okay, so that's what if you understand the frequency scale, it basically explains everything. So what Dark has been doing, I asked Team about 2.5 years ago, and I asked God, and I said, I want you to explain to me what this is going to look like. So how are we supposed to light the grid up? If twins are truly supposed to be held apart because they're not supposed to explode yet until we're supposed to bring the frequency up, and all of these non-twins are together running around saying that they're twins, but they're not, it's almost like a ruse. So I asked Team, can you please describe to me and show me what we need to know about how this is going to go down? And I kind of hesitated to share it, but if you think about it, this is basically the page out of Dark's playbook. They have put this in every single movie out there. It aligns with The Matrix. It aligns with a lot of the, it aligns with the X-Men movies. It aligns with so many movies. This also aligns with Stranger Things. They have to disclose and publish everything that they're doing to us. So then when this actually goes down, they can say, we warned you and you basically accepted it. Silence is acceptance. So since they can do it, I'm going to explain it to all you guys. Our site should have this information too. And obviously I'm a little bit hesitant to share it, which is why I'm stumbling over myself, because it's like, this is going to be interesting. Okay. All right. Here's how God showed this. He showed me the world as like a giant earth. He showed me the earth. He showed all of this negative energy that's being pushed from the satellites that I'm not going to name. You guys all know what this is. The energy of the earth itself is being microwaved from above. There is a mesh. There's another grid that is a dark grid that is basically in orbit that is pushing radiation down into the earth. It's basically dropping the frequency of the whole earth progressively. While that's happening, we've got all the fear going on. We've got all the disease going on. We got the COVID. We got the thing that's being pushed into everybody's arms. That's got its own shit in it. We've got voice to skull. We've got fear. We've got divide. We've got everybody 6 feet apart so that nobody can light anybody up. And progressively, the vibration of the planet is basically what Team made it look like an apple rotting from the outside. At a certain point, that apple is going to be so unstable that it's going to be catastrophic if we don't turn that energy around and bring it back up. That's when twins are supposed to come together. That's what divine timing is. How do we do that? What they showed me was it starts from the hierarchy of twins and it goes in a very specific order. The first pair of twins, anyway, it's a long story. The long and the short of it is there's a pack of twins that actually successively, when enough of them come into this merging, even consecutively from across states or across countries, as they merge and they explode, and then more of them combine and they explode, it creates this ripple of this energy that basically rips across the whole world in 2 different directions. So now you've got this rotting apple of a world. You've got these twins that are coming together in a succession, in an order, that combust into what looks like a giant star. that creates this giant energy field that shoots out and wraps around the whole earth. And it starts to bring that back up. And what's interesting about that is what he showed me too was after the first segment of twins does this, one of them is handed a key. This is what I saw. Michael hands one of them a key. They push it into the earth, turn it. And what happens is it almost looks like a layer, an external layer on the outside of the earth that literally just shifts, like when a salt shaker kind of shifts and you can open the hole. And all of these little things open up all over the earth, and all of this gray stuff starts coming out. At that point, now we've got a conflict in frequency, because we've got this giant ripple that is now trying to bring the dark frequency back up, and trying to balance the frequency of the earth. Then we've got the abyss that just fucking opened, and you've got all of the 4D and all of the demonic shit coming out, trying to combat this big wave of energy that just came out. See what I mean? It's like spiritual, it's spiritual war is what this is. So then what happens is, as twins keep, it moves in order, the next ones combine. Every time another twin comes together, it sends another wave out that actually activates the next one and activates the next one. And before you know it, you got bing, 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 bing. You've got twins sparking all over the world. And it basically, they have to do it. It's basically in its succession. It's like over a period of time. But it's almost like dominoes. Like it picks up momentum after the first few, and then it picks up momentum and it moves all the way through. And the reason for this is because as stuff is escaping from the abyss, it is dropping the vibration. As we are sparking up, we're balancing it, but our job is to make sure that we're raising it. So if we're just balancing it, then we're keeping it low. We have to be sparking and being more powerful than them. Does that make sense? Okay. Long and the short of it. Okay, how is this accomplished? Yeah, that's what that basically means. So when they talk about lighting up the grid, basically as the waves of energy from these sparking twins pulses out, it's lighting up other ones, lighting it. So it's almost like spreading over a mesh. And as you light up your grid point, your light is spreading out and balancing and uplifting the vibration to combat the lower vibration that is coming up from the abyss. Sound like a clusterfuck? Yeah, sure is. Okay. So that's what divine timing is. That's why we've been saying twins are being kept apart. If you guys have noticed, most twins have really, really been moving since July and August. I don't know how many twins in our group are like, I did it myself. I'm the DM, and I completely chopped out and pushed out what didn't serve me. We've got a bazillion twins that we're connected with that are all like, they're leaving their karmics, they're leaving their jobs. They are moving away from what doesn't serve them, and they're literally slamming their brakes on and turning around and go, oh shit, I need to move into my place. I even met with a brand new DM the other day who she just wanted a twin validation, and she was freaked out because she watched one of these videos and she goes, I haven't been doing anything. I don't understand. And I was like, oh my God, you're a DM. You're like, she all of a sudden was like called home. So this is happening all over the place. This has been happening in the last 3 months. We've seen all of the movement that we've seen with twins actually in their journeys is playing out that aligns with this. So, and I do want to tell you that after team, I was going to show you guys this. After team showed me that image of the rotting apple, and then all of this wave of energy, and then the key goes in it, and then everything shifts and all the crap came out. I said, where in the hell do I find this? And they said, go to Revelations. This is where I found it. The fifth angel sounded his trumpet. It's Revelations 9. And I saw a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. The star was given the key to the shaft of the abyss. When he opened the abyss, smoke rose from it like the smoke from a gigantic furnace. That is exactly what they showed me. So let me break down what this actually means. Based on what this physicist the other day, last Thursday, was able to share with Leah and I, and then Stancy and Tracy And Leah and I all got together and really just picked the shit out of this apart and dissected it, went to God, got all our confirmations. What this is team had showed me that the unions or the twins coming together is the star. One of those, and these are incarnated twins that are actually like moving around now. This is all happening in the 3D. One of them takes a key and undoes the abyss or unlocks the abyss. And this person, we are told, knows exactly what they're doing. They do it in the 3D remotely. They know exactly what they're doing. All of them do it. Well, no, I mean, let me back up. I'm being real general about this because anyway, it doesn't matter. Team said basically it's taken care of, so we don't need to worry about it, right? I saw a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. When they say that, if you notice, this is different than the way that they worded this star, what they call wormwood. They basically said that at that point, it basically comes crashing to the earth, or it falls to the earth. This is basically a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. And as its physicist describes, when we do combine these particles, that is the twin flame, it is explosive. And they consider when the bodies, when the souls, when this energy and all of this stuff combines, it basically forms a star. So team was showing me when I was asking them about that, I said, why are they calling this a star, even though that's what I look like? And they said, because the star basically, when they're saying had fallen from the sky to the earth, this is when we were reincarnated into human bodies. So there's that. When he opened the abyss, smoke rose from it like the smoke from a gigantic furnace. And we're going to talk about what that looked like. So I basically was like, okay, where is this? This is actually a physical machine. There is a gigantic scientific mechanical device that is so fucking powerful that it literally sits in 2 different countries at once. It is one of the most expensive machines ever created, and it literally has the power to basically create scary situations that would devour the earth. That particular machine, I'm not going to talk about where, like, I'm not going to be specific about it because we're not allowed to. But what that thing does is, I have to be really careful about how I say this. Basically, what that thing has been trying to do is it takes one type of particle that's a dark particle, and it is trying to create an explosion within that thing that is being fed by all of these other machines all over the world that, how do I say this? Smaller ones that do kind of the same thing. And then there are what they call accelerators, and they're all over the world. They basically all provide this energy and they're feeding it into this one. Okay. So if you've got a dark particle and you want to create a massive explosion that would be powerful enough to rip a hole into the dimension, to leak the 4th dimension in, they are going to need something that they can't quite get their hands on. So they're going to need enough of the opposite particle. It's basically the light versus the dark. They're very, very obvious about it. They actually taunt it. They have a documentary they made about it where they basically talk about twins, how twins have a part in this. They are afraid that they can't contain this energy, this particle, because if you combine the particles, what this thing can do is it literally can create such an explosion that it will turn the earth into a little cinder ash. It could create a gigantic black hole or a combination of tinier black holes that could literally suck everything into it, including the universe. It basically could be astronomically catastrophic. But what they're trying to do with it is rip a hole in this dimension to basically create a giant portal to the 4th. And it's not, the scientist was trying to tell me about this the other day, or the physicist was explaining kind of how this works. From what I understand, if you look at dimensions like pages of a book and they all lie on top of each other, but they're like a fabric. If we're in the third and we provide a big enough explosion, if this is how I remember this being explained, because I'm definitely not a physicist. I only understand what I see and then how that makes sense of it. It literally can create a hole in this one to, well, lots of holes, actually, if we're doing these all over the world. We've got openings to the fourth. So if you ever understand what the fourth dimension is, it's really disgusting. It's like where all the demonic souls live. It's dark. It looks like the other side in Stranger Things. So as it depicts in Stranger Things, what happens is you got mirroring worlds. You got mirroring dimensions. That's what they're trying to do. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not explaining this very articulately. I'm just so hesitant in speaking about a lot of it. It's just got me tripped up. So thanks for your patience. Okay, so here's the kicker. They have been looking for this particle. Well, the particle basically is the flame. So the only way for them to be able to have the power they need is for us to finally get into this place where we push this wave out that takes this particle and this energy and it pushes it out and it hits all of these openings of these little things that are collecting this, that pushes it all into the main machine in Geneva for that thing to have the power that it needs. It's our energy, this type of energy, the specific particle that basically collides with the opposite. So they're using our energy to open the abyss. Make sense? It's interesting. I always wondered, I'm like, well, why do they even care? Because if they need this, if they need our energy like this to be able to open it, then don't you think that dark would not be hunting us and trying to take our fire down, right? Why would they be trying to take twins' energy down if they need the energy? Well, they've been trying to replicate it. They actually found the particle in 2012. They've got multiple laboratories all over the world that are trying to replicate this particle, but they can't contain it. We can. How? And even the scientist I talked to the other day was basically talking about this. When you combine them, it creates such a powerful explosion. It is the most powerful explosion. Like, it's the most powerful force in the universe if you combine all of those particles that exist in the same thing. So in order for us to hold it, we had to be awakened. We had to have our Kundalini to rise our frequency, and we have to make sure our vibration is clear. We have to make sure that we are mastered. We have to make sure that we are doing the work with our energy and are keeping the dark out of us, keeping the emotional mastery, which is so you're not upset, so you're not fearful, so you're not doubtful, so you're not jealous. All of those things have to go in order for us to be 100%. But I asked the question, I'm like, why wouldn't they want that? It's because what they were trying to do is get a hold of it, replicate it, create this blast before any of us were in a position to be this high vibing, because this basically is what takes them out. So there's where it goes down to. If you look at the end of The Matrix, if you look at the end of the X-Men movies and Apocalypse, if you look at the end of the Phoenix movie, if you look at end of, I haven't seen all the rest of them, but they all basically say the same thing, is that it basically is this combination of this gigantic light blast that basically simultaneously takes dark out all at once. That's what's going to happen in the end. But we have to be in our power and meshing each other up in everyone else's 100% power. And then all of that power gets funneled into a specific team or a specific place, and God's got it going where it needs to go in order to be able to pull this explosion off at the end that basically neutralizes all the dark matter. So that's all this is. We're just vessels for being able to carry this power is what this is. So there's that. Did I miss anything, or does that even make sense to you guys? In the way that we all hashed it out the other day?
That makes a lot of sense, Lynn. The way you've broken it down
I
in
think you explained it as
simpler terms. I understand it, so it's pretty good. Thank you.
Okay. It's a lot, you guys. But it really is, we're just tools for all of this. Somebody asked me a really good question a few weeks ago, and they were like, oh, okay, so basically my vessel is just carrying this thing, and I'm supposed to go combine with this other person that has the same thing, and we're supposed to explode, or we're supposed to do this and that, and we're supposed to be unconditional love, which is the 100%, which is the, you have to move towards God. But the question was, is that all I am? Is I'm just a tool for this? And it's like, no, if you don't have the purity of heart, and if you're not following God, then you're not going to be able to carry this out. So it's your purity of heart and it's your soul that is driving the vessel that is able to do all of these things. But our flame and our fire is the most critical element in this entire thing. It is our greatest weapon. It can purify the living shit out of anything. It also can literally atomize something that's demonic. If you look in the movie Hellboy, look up Liz and sewer scene in Hellboy. That's what she does, is she takes her fire and she basically nukes it out, and it just fries the fucking shit out of everything around it. That's what this fire does. And the quantum physics of it that we just got validation on the other day backs that up. So there's that. Okay. So basically, what happens when the abyss opens? Here's where it gets kind of crazy. So first of all, as God was saying, and his God says, and I'm going to go back there. There's a number of things that are going to happen. Let's see, twins are going to be all lit up by then. No, that's not true. Twins are going to be starting to light up after this happens in succession. It's going to be several unions. Abyss opens, and then it's going to be a rapid fire domino effect of unions, because that's the way it needs to go down. What they are doing with this machine is they have literally resurrected the Antichrist, the four horsemen, and they actually did this years ago, based on what this physicist was explaining. And team showed me this way back in the day, because they were telling me that the horsemen were being risen 4 months in a row. They were 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 months. I think this was like 2018. And I know Tanya flew out here for 2 weeks right at the end of the last one, because one of them was rising right here. And we had to hold the energy down. And I know that the Antichrist was before that, and I wasn't sure when, but this physicist basically backed it up. And he said that what they did was they took the head of Osiris. He said, the reason we went into Iraq was to get this head of Osiris. The actual cut head of Osiris is in a jar. It has been preserved since the beginning of freaking time, I guess. The Vatican library had it for a long time. But we had to go get this head back, because where this explosion is supposed to take place literally is sitting on top of the impact point of this is literally sitting on top of the ancient Roman temple site to Apollo and Abaddon, which is the Antichrist. So what this scientific and biological and physics technology is able to do is they are able to pull stuff through this portal of the abyss. They can actually attach a third strand DNA. They can add some biological components, meaning some amino acids and the shit that builds proteins and mass. Then what they do is they can legitimately use these 3-story tall buildings that look like MRI machines that are detectors that can actually physically print out a vessel for that to move into. And then through voice to skull, they can literally push a consciousness into this being. So they can take the DNA from all of the gods and the pharaohs and everything that's been buried in Egypt that are considered gods, and everybody that they've ever preserved. They can take the DNA and they can resurrect them either into a new being, or they can, how did he put this? Hold on, let me find this. Shit, I'm on the wrong page. What he said was, yeah, they can, they initiate a change sequence, some type of sequence, but they can change that sequence to whatever pattern they want, or the same biological form, meaning they can take the DNA from Abaddon. They can basically create the consciousness. They can like resurrect that soul, use the voice of skull to push that into this being, and they can literally push it into whatever human being they want. So when they talk about the Antichrist rising and being a person, this is how they do it. That's already been done. That was done in September of 2017. And from what I understand, the 4 horsemen, the same process happened to them in the 4 months around the spring of 2018. So there's that. Okay, so that's happening when the abyss opens, is that what they're doing is all of these demonic souls, all of these other type of souls, there's a lot of alien shit going on. But as these souls are passing through this, they literally can print out some type of vessel, whether it's demonic or it's into a person. A lot of the fallen angels have already been replicated into human beings. They're walking around just like we are. So it's basically all happening on the 3D level. Okay, another thing that's going to happen is from what Stancy said, and Stancy, I might ask you to elaborate on this a little bit because a lot of this came from God. People that are not supposed to fight this war on the light side, meaning say you got the sweet little grandma or somebody who just is very, very God-centered. God said he will take those souls and get them the hell out of here, right? He basically said he will take them to be with him, while other souls that have not yet decided, their job is going to be, okay, now you're in this fucking battlefield. Are you going to find God, or are you going to go dark and succumb to whatever happens? Stancy, can you elaborate on that? Oh, okay. She's got visitors. She said, yes, that's correct. Okay. Thank you for that. So we've got, basically you got 4D flooding in to our dimension. And then in the physical. Why shouldn't we worry about it? Because if you have the flame will destroy that shit instantly. We incinerate the shit out of that crap. You just got to learn how to use it. Not only that, we're too high vibing. So if you really get control of your vibration, and you really get control of you learn your abilities, then we have nothing to be afraid of, because demonic beings are afraid of us once we know our power, because we roast them instantly. Because of the difference in the frequency. It's the same thing as a collider. It's an explosion. So when I push fire into a demon, it explodes. All of us have this ability to do that. You just got to learn how. Is there anything else I'm missing when the abyss opens? Twins start firing up, moving into rapid succession. Souls are being pulled. Some are left down here, and then dark pretty much fucking takes over. Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's well explained.
Yep, I think you covered it all very well. Thanks.
It's awful, isn't it? But it's going to be so great. Yeah, it's basically as above, as so below applies in all ways, right? It's light versus dark. It's third versus fourth. We're trying to get to the fifth dimension, which is clearing the fourth out when all of the explosions go off at the end. So we really have nothing to worry about it. When God talks about how protected we are, it's because if we are if we are using our abilities and we are using this fire, then we're basically untouchable. It's almost like when you try to stick your finger into one of those little bug zappers, or not your finger, say a mosquito tries to penetrate the electric field in a bug zapper, it basically fries the shit out of it. That's exactly what our fire does to anything dark. Not only that, but if you understand how to use your intent and you know how to use the abilities that you're going to have and that are going to be amped up, you'll be able to put stuff around you. You'll be able to prevent anything from even touching you in a physical way. There's ways to do it. We do it all the time. In fact, Leah did it out somewhere. I'm not going to say where she was. She did it somewhere, and there were people around, and she kind of was doing that one day, and then the next day she went back to that same place, or a couple of days later, and people were like, oh, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. And she's like, no, I was legit. Like, it's not a cloaking. It's something different. But all of us can do it, but it's our responsibility to learn how to use it. So that's basically it. Our jobs in this is our priority as twins moving into this. We have got to be mastered. If we have still blocks that we're stumbling with, get over them. We don't have time. We've got twins that are snapping into their seats, and they're snapping in like an order, like a number order. Everybody has a seat number, and they're snapping in order. So if you have one hurdle left, if you have one thing that you're trying to get past, team is probably beating the shit out of you with something, or your twin, get with God. If you need help with it, we can help you with it, but you've got to get past it because you have to be at 100%. You also need to understand how to work this energy, and these abilities they're only going to get stronger. And God was saying earlier, in this, God says that I was sharing with you guys, he said, the frequency of all trickled out will lift vibrations as this is its purpose. As these waves go out and they're lighting everybody up, the frequency is going to be increasing pretty rapidly. You're going to notice that your abilities get off the chain, and you've got to know how to use them. You guys already have them, and a lot of people have not tapped into them. So there's that. They are for protection. They are for clearing. They are for healing. I'm not talking about Reiki. I'm not talking about Reiki fire. This is something completely different. This is a whole different frequency. Twins are the only beings that can contain this. So it's a whole different level than any of that stuff. But you got to be able to use it. If you don't know how to use it, then you're not going to be able to purify, heal. God's not going to, basically, when it comes your time, he needs you up, ready, and both you and your twin at 100%. Or he can't bring you together because he's not going to bring two duds together. He needs the whole Christmas tree lit up. Does that make sense? So our job is mastery, learn your abilities, and you've got to get clear and protected. And if you are, and you are embracing your abilities, you understand the frequency, you know how to connect with your twin, you're going to be fine. Not only that, we are going to need to have our abilities and know how to use this and understand our telepathy, because we're going to have to communicate with each other as a team, because we're going to be spread all over the world, right? And the grid will be going down. Grid's going down. How do we prepare for this in the 3D in terms of the grid going down and preparing for this? There is a specific survival expert, prepper, the only one that I trust and that we trust. And if you guys need any help with this whatsoever, email Lynn. I will connect you with them, and they can work with you. They actually train the military. They're beyond certified. It's ridiculous. They are the most impressive survival expert I've ever known. So hit me up, email me for info. I will point you their direction, and they can help you out. And this has to do with everything, wilderness and urban survival, all of it. Whatever you guys need to know in order to survive anything, basically they can help you with this. So shout out to them because they've been really helpful for us. Okay, and then there's one more thing. When the abyss opens, I did miss something, didn't I? Hold on, let me check comments really quick while I try to remember. Oh, thank you, Leah. Yeah, Lynn at gracefulconnection.com. And my name is not Lynn. You guys, my real name's Linda. I go by Lynn because I hate when people call me that. So if you spell it Lynn, it'll still go to my email, but that's it's anyway, in case it doesn't, there you go. It's LIN. Is there one more thing? Oh, timing. Like we were talking about timing. I will say about timing, people are like, when is this going to happen? It is going to be happening very, very soon. I can tell you that if you have a lot to weight to lose, you won't have time to lose it. You're not going to feel ready. Guarantee you're not going to feel ready. So we will be sharing more as stuff goes down. As time gets closer, we will be more specific. So if you have not subscribed and if you have not hit the notifications or the little bell, I would do so now so that you guys get notified, because a lot of times I don't send emails or notifications out that I'm doing these. We just show up sometimes when there's a message. So hit the subscribe, turn on your notifications, and we will keep you all in the loop. So there's that. Is there anything we missed?
I don't think so. I think that covers everything.
Okay. If you guys want to go into more detail, we do talk a lot about this stuff in our groups. So we have most of our community groups in the Mighty Networks platform, and we do have a free one if you just want to get your feet warm, where everybody is in the free one. Even everybody in our master course and the hardcore group are still in the free one, and everybody there. It is all positive. It is productive. Everyone there is supportive, really helpful. And the link is in the description box below. For any twin that really wants to own this shit and move into it 100%, email me, lynn@gracefulconnection.com, and let's talk about you getting into the master course that's underway now. We are not going to do another one. We'll be lucky if we get through this one. I mean, it's because it's going to keep going and going. But even though it started 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we even have new people starting tomorrow. We want everybody to be ramped up. And in the master course, what we're doing is we're bringing the most relevant things that are going to help you every single day. The format has kind of changed because shit's ramping up. We want you guys prepared. So we're going to work on what's relevant, and we're going to get everybody up to steam. But the free one, definitely, if you guys have questions or you just want to get your feet wet and learn some of this stuff, get in the free group. Everybody's welcome. Even if you're not twin, I don't care. Light workers, we're all doing the same stuff. So we all are in this together. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Can you guys think of anything? No?
I can't think of anything if there is.
I know that was a lot. Alrighty. If you guys do have specific questions, put it in the comments or email. We are putting out lives as things are turning, as God is pushing, as things are relevant. So we will keep everybody updated here. And then I guess we will see you guys later. Thanks for being here. Bye.